Good evening, everyone. Apopka High School welcomes you to Joe Sterling Gymnasium for Game 24 of the 13th Annual Metro versus Florida Challenge, the event that puts the reputation of the Orlando Metro Conference on the line against some of the top talent in our neighboring counties and private schools. And in this game, we welcome as our guests, wearing the black jerseys, visitors on the scoreboard from Lake Region High School. They are the Thunder. And wearing the white jerseys, home, of course, on the scoreboard, it's your host school from Apopka High School. Please welcome your Blue Darters. Let's meet the teams. Beginning with our guests from Lake Region. And starting at point guard with junior, number 4, Christopher Sherman. At center, 6-foot senior, number 3, Perry Wilkerson. At small forward, 6'3", senior, number 30, Devin Booker. At guard, 6'3", senior, number 5, Dwayne Lattimore. And finally, for the Thunder, at shooting guard, 6'2", senior, number 2, Brenton McKinny Allen. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Apopka High School Blue Darters. Starting at wing with 6'1", junior, number 10, Jahi Bowden. At forward, 6'4", junior, number 4, Jude Angervil. At power forward, 6'5", junior, number 5, Larson Taylor. At shooting guard, 5'9", senior, number 24, Chase Marks. And finally, for the Darters, at shooting guard, 6'1", senior, number 1, Devin Leath. The head coach of the Thunder in his 3rd year at the helm of Lake Region is Orinthia Simmons. And for the Blue Darters in his 9th year at the helm of Apopka, Scott Williams. The officials for today's game are from the Central Florida Officials Association in Orlando. We also want to remind those of you who are here in the arena with us, if you have friends and family elsewhere in Apopka, over in Eagle Lake, or anywhere in the world, and they were not able to join us for tonight's contest, make sure you send them to our YouTube channel, Metro VSFL. Just open up the YouTube app on your favorite computer, smart TV, or mobile device, search Metro versus Florida Challenge or Metro VSFL, and it'll come right up, and they can follow along for free live at all 26 games. And we want to welcome those of you who have done just that. Welcome to Joe Sterling Gymnasium. My name is Mark Barchi, Media Director for the Metro versus Florida Challenge, and I am joined by Neil Fisher of the Apopka Chief, ready to take you through a highly anticipated game. Neil, as you mentioned during the last game, it is Coach Williams' team versus another Coach Williams legacy team. Lake Region, of course, the former home of Scott Williams, and a couple of stops along the way. And now he finds himself at Apopka playing against his old school.
Yeah, and of course you have two teams as well moving in different directions last year. Apopka, a very unlike 11-15 Scott Williams coached record. They are, by the way, 12-9 in this event, lifetime. On the other side, Lake Region, 21-5, and Class 5A. So still no score, half a minute in. No dice on the tray. That's Dwayne Lattimore. First whistle of the game. And that's going to be a foul.
Foul's called against Jude Angervil, his first, the team's first.
This is also the second game for the Apopka Blue Darters. They, of course, lost their first game to the Orlando Christian Prep Warriors. No shame in that. Of course, Orlando Christian Prep, a multiple-time state champion. And the lower classifications. And just a quick note, classification does not mean the quality of their play, it just means the student body. So still no score. A minute 40 into this ball game. So now Lake Thunder brings that ball up. Both teams with a couple of possessions, ending without points. This is a 2023 Eurogram Metro versus Florida Challenge. 22 teams make up the Metro Conference. They are public schools, and they are all located in Orange County. In each game, a member of the Metro Conference takes on a non-member, a.k.a. the Florida Contingency. And at the end of the 26 games, 4 days and 2 locations, we add up the totals and see which side wins most. And, of course, this is based on the ACC versus Big Ten Challenge at the college level. And Scott Williams, who is now coaching, the head coach of Apopka, trying to get his team rebounding from that opening season loss. Is his brainchild. So a 12-11 lead for the Florida Contingency. They did win 6 of the first 7 games on the first day. Go back to live action. Lake Thunder puts the ball back into play. And we are off again. Still looking for our first point. The drive through the lane. That was Allen.
Foul is called against Apopka's number 24, Chase Marks. It's his first. The team's second at the line shooting is number 2, Brenton McKinny Allen.
Neither free throw drops. And getting in the middle, Jermichael Johnson. And now Apopka go back to work, see if they can get the first 2 points of the ball game. From the left wing, that's Darren Leath, the senior. Can't find the range. Underneath, score the deuce. Angervil making the
Jude Angervil on the second chance basket for the Darters.
So a 2-0 lead for Apopka. 5.5 first quarter.
Jude Angervil is calling his second personal foul. It's the team's third, and that will send Dwayne Lattimore to the line, shooting 2 for the Thunder.
2-0 lead for Apopka. Apopka falling to the Orlando Christian Prep Warriors on day 2 back on Wednesday. So this is the second game in this event. 4 teams playing 2 games. And now a 2-1 lead.
Darter basket by Larson Taylor.
So that ups the lead now, 4-1, 3-point lead for Apopka. Lake Region goes back to work, trailing by 3, 4.5 first quarter. Lattimore inbounds the ball down in the corner. Sweeps across the lane. That's Booker. Reverses and floats in the deuce.
Devin Booker spins around for 2 for the Thunder.
Meanwhile, at the other end, Apopka looking to answer. Left wing, the drive, and loses the ball. That was Johnson, the 6'3" junior shooting forward. Back the other way, Johnson blocked, rejected. Johnson gets the rebound and floats in.
Jermichael Johnson, second chance bucket for the Darters.
At the other end, still no dice. Yet to score a field goal. A second field goal for Lake Region. And possession will be Lake Region's.
Checking into the game for the Blue Darters, number 12, Trent Jean.
2 more games remaining after this in the 2023 Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge.
Darter basket by Chai Bowden.
3 minutes remaining. First quarter, 8-3 lead for Apopka. And action moving fast and furiously now. As we get a full timeout, Lake Thunder.
30-second timeout called by Lake Region.
This is a 2023 Earl Graham Metro vs. Florida Challenge. We're representing the Metro Conference, the Apopka Blue Darters in the host school, out to an 8-3 lead over Lake Region. We're representing the Florida contingency.
We'd like to take an opportunity to recognize our presenting sponsors who helped to make the Metro versus Florida Challenge possible, including Advent Health, whose 8 Central Florida hospitals have been named the best in Orlando 13 years running. At Advent Health, we care for you mind, body, and spirit while you get back to doing what you love with those you love. Visit besthospitalinorlando.com to get started on your journey to wellness. Thunder will have the throw in as we get back to live action. And it looks like they're going to go straight for the basket. Or not. They thought they had a transition play, and they'll reset into the half court.
Off the back of the rim. That was Booker. The long-range three-pointer.
Foul's called against number 5, Dwayne Lattimore. That's his first personal foul, the team's first of the period.
And we're going to have a foul. 2:36 remaining.
Foul called against number 5, Dwayne Lattimore. That's a second personal foul, the team's second, and it sends Apopka to the free throw line. Jermichael Johnson will be shooting 2.
So the score remains at 8-3, an obviously low-scoring game, which means defense. Intercepted by Leath, stepping in front of the pass, and the quick pass to Angervil, who makes the withdrawal from the bank.
Jude Angervil picks up a stolen basket for the Darters.
Approaching 2 minutes, a 7-point lead now for Apopka. And another interception, this time Gene stepping in front, and he's off to the races. Possession will remain with Apopka, and a chance to get that lead up to 9 or perhaps even 10 points. Inbound to Leath, and he drives, no setting the offense. Can't get that ball to drop. Might have been a hand on it at the other side. Lake Region continues to charge and also commit the foul.
A literal charge there. Charge taken by Samuel Bell. The foul is called against number 4, Christopher German. That's his first, the team's third.
So 3 consecutive turnovers now. Gene, extended right. Now back up to Leath. He swings around and drives through that lane. A lot of hands and no foul, just a turnover. So Wilkerson will inbound the ball. Standing right in front of the Apopka cheerleaders, about 15 strong. Of course, Apopka, the host school. And this is one of the premier matchups as Coach Scott Williams taking on a team he used to coach, Lake Region, and a former mentee of his on the other sideline as that coach, Arithian Simmons. At the other end, off the heel, knocked away by Booker, picked up by Lake Region. They're off on the run, and the reverse kissing the basket.
Brenton McKinny Allen scores 2 for the Thunder.
– 10-5 lead now for Apopka. Chased down, rebound by Taylor, and he goes back to work and draws the foul as he pounds the layup attempt.
Foul's called against Thunder number 1, Jodner Izenday. That's his first, the team's fourth, and it sends Larson Taylor to the line, shooting 2 for the Darters.
So Taylor at the free throw line with 2 points, a 10-5 lead for Apopka. And both free throws find the mark. Taylor with a nice looking stroke. And now the 12-5 lead. Back at the other end, contact, and more free throws.
Devin Booker gets the basket and a chance to make it a 3-point play. The foul is called against Darters number 12, Trent Jean, his first, the team's fourth.
So Booker will go to the line. He has 4 points. Chance to cut that lead down to one possession. And does. So actually 2 possessions, excuse me. 4 points. 40 seconds remaining. 1-on-1. That's Bell. He drops that ball off to Taylor. Trying to go inside. Does get it there to Bowden. But quickly the ball is turned over. Under 30 seconds now. First quarter. 24th of 26 games, making up the 2023 Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge.
Traveling. Darters ball.
Lake Region with the travel. So Bowden inbounds the ball. Apopka goes back to work. 15 seconds remaining. Looks like they're going to set up for the last shot. Try to take some momentum into the second quarter. And the slash through the lane and the strong
Chase marks.
So Lake Region will get the last shot. Ooh, rims in and out. That's McKinney Allen, but Apopka with the last score, a 14-8 lead going into the second half with the last word and the momentum. This is the 2023 Earl Graham Metro vs. Florida Challenge from Apopka High School, Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium.
That takes us to the end of the first quarter, and it is a 6-point ball game for Apopka. Low-scoring game overall, but a 2-possession game at the end of 8 minutes. 14-8 is your score. And we want to take this opportunity to thank another of our presenting sponsors, including Burn Fat Orlando, who challenges you to step on the scale with their money-back guarantee. If you don't lose weight in the first 10 days, they'll refund your money. Give them a call at 855-889-THIN. That's 855-889-THIN for your chance to take charge of your weight and your life. We also want to thank our friends at St. Germain Chiropractic Clinic, offering the best non-invasive healthcare services in the Central Florida area. With most insurance accepted, they can treat your back and neck pain, headaches, auto accident injuries, slip and fall injuries, and musculoskeletal conditions. Remember, when in pain, call St. Germain. We are getting ready to go back to live action here at Joe Sterling Gymnasium, and the host school, the Apopka Blue Darters, out to a 14-8 lead. Lake Region, of course, is a school where Scott Williams has been the head coach before, back when he used to be in Polk County. That is also a program that has had rather a long hiatus. They have been away from the Metro versus Florida Challenge for about 10 years, and they now return to this event for the first time since, I believe, 2013. They have yet to win a game at the Metro versus Florida Challenge, though. The Thunder have an 0-4 record from those early first, second, and third events that happened back at Wekiva High School when the event used to be hosted there.
So a 14-8 lead for Lake Region.
The Thunder have the opening possession of the second quarter.
And possession, second quarter begins with Lake Region. Possession, short, and ball ripped down by Johnson quickly. At the other way, that was actually Bell with the rebound. Can't find the mark. But Angervil, living up to that name, with the rebound.
Jude Angervil fouled on the putback attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2. Fouls called against number 14. Zachary White, his first, team's first.
The 24th of 26 games, making up the Metro versus Florida Challenge. Last 2 games will pit Apopka against Evans. That's a women's game. And then Cypress Creek takes on Leesburg. As always, thank you for joining us on this Saturday, a couple days after Thanksgiving. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast as much as we enjoy bringing the broadcast to you. The rebound by Leath off the missed free throw. And Apopka goes back to work. And just as quickly the turnover, a couple players hit the deck. The game wages on. And after all said and done, Apopka will have possession. No points on the board. So Apopka, with that 6-point, 2-possession lead, back to work. Bell finding the range.
3 for Samuel Bell.
That was an NBA 3. And so now Lake Region trailing by 9. Again, Apopka looking for its first victory of the season, falling to OCP in their opener. That was on Wednesday, the second day of the contest of this event.
Timeout, Thunder.
So after that 3-point play, Coach Simpson wants a timeout. Apopka looking to even the scoreboard at 12 all for the Metro Conference. 17-8 the score of this game. Apopka over Lake Region.
As we are paused for a 30-second timeout requested by the Thunder, we'll take this opportunity to thank our friends at Elevate Orlando, a civic nonprofit who helps students grow and strengthen the character and application of essential life skills taught in the classroom, modeled through mentoring, and incorporated into everything they do so students can apply those skills to their lives. Elevate Orlando has a partnership with OCPS to offer their curriculum as an accredited elective course, and their teacher mentors spend more than half their time outside of school mentoring students. With more than 1,500 participants, 14 partner schools, a 98% graduation rate, and 96% post-secondary placement, visit elevateorlando.com to see how they can make a difference in your student's life.
So we get back to live action under 7 minutes now. The long tray outside of the NBA range. The long pass, sharp shooting pass, and at the other end that results in the
Jahi Bowden fouled on the attempt. He'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the Darters. The foul is called against Thunder number 4, Christopher German. That's his second personal foul. The team's second as well.
No dice on the free throw, keeps the lead at 10 points. Still the largest of the game for Apopka. As got double teamed, somehow Lake Region battles out of that. And residual turnover though, as Johnson picks up the loose ball and he gets contact.
Fouls called against Thunder's number 1, Jodner Izenday. That's his second personal foul, the team's third of the period. And this is my error. Still getting used to the new rules regarding fouls. I did not clear those at the beginning of the period. So let me wipe those out for you right now. And it is, in fact, correctly 3 fouls for Lake Region and none for Apopka since the period changed over. Of course, we now go to bonus on the 5th foul of the quarter rather than on the 7th for 1-and-1 and then 10th for 2 shot of the half. 5th foul of the quarter results in 2-shot bonus. There is no more 1-and-1. That's a change to the NFHS rules for this year to align with FIBA and NCAA women's rules, which are already the basis for much of the remaining parts of the NFHS rulebook. And now we're going to get another foul. Foul is called against Thunder number 1, Jodner Izenday. That's his third personal foul, the team's 4th. Darters ball at the opposing baseline.
So 18-8 lead for Apopka. Lake Region, of course, we mentioned it before. Lake Region, a former stop for head coach Scott Williams. That's going to be short. Bounding around in front, finally picked up by Izenday. He leads the charge. 5:20 before halftime. Of course, Apopka, the whole school, got about 200 fans in attendance. They ventured out on the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Foul called against starters. Number 5, Larson Taylor, his first personal foul, the team's first of the second quarter.
So Lake Region haven't had a score in a couple of minutes now.
Darters number 10, Jahi Bowden, calling his first personal foul, the team's second.
Under 5 minutes. Rebound cleared by Taylor. Back the other way. And the floating deuce while falling from Johnson.
Jermichael Johnson, 2.
So that's 4 points, 6 points now for Johnson. Lead up to 12. Rejected. And Larson Taylor clearing the rebound. At the other end, Windex works, still no basket. And now we're seeing some up and down action at the other end. The left-right maneuver in midair, and we will have free throws. 4:16, second quarter.
Block is called against Darters, number 24. That's Chase Marks' second personal foul, the team's third, and it will send Brenton McKinny Allen to the line, shooting 2. Number 5, that's Dwayne Lattimore.
And that'll cut the lead back down to half. 20-10, 4 minutes remaining. There's now Gene going one-on-one, top of the key. Tracks down that loose ball. And a timeout called by Coach Williams. 3:46 remaining. Obviously did not like something he was seeing.
Yeah, they're not going to give it to him, though. They're going to rule that the turnover occurred first. Which is probably what he saw that he didn't like. Thunder basket by Dwayne Lattimore.
So that cuts down the lead, 20-12. And back the other way, the answer.
Jude Angervil scores for the Darters.
And
Thunder took a tumble there, but the referees didn't buy it.
Yeah, and I can see Coach Simmons wanted the foul. Refs disagree. As he said, they just shook their head. And now back the other way we go. Lake Region down by 10 again from the left corner. Splash for Lattimore.
3 for Dwayne Lattimore. He has the last 3 consecutive baskets. And there's an answer. Darren Leath, 3. Shot blocked by Johnson. Now a chance to do something in transition, and a block at the other end. Basket by Brenton McKinny Allen.
So Apopka has led throughout. They scored the first 2 points. They had the lead as big as 12, now settling into 8 points.
Traveling Thunder ball. Checking into the game for the Thunder, Zachary White. And for the Darters, Larson Taylor.
So Taylor comes into the game. As you heard Mark say, of course, that other voice you hear is Mark Barchi. He's also the public address announcer. I'm Neil Fisher. Thank you for spending a part of your holiday weekend with us. We are almost at the end of the 2023 Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge. 2.5 more games, including this one. And if this score does hold as far as Apopka staying in the lead, we will be tied at 12-12. 22 teams in the Metro Conference. All are public high schools. All are located in Orange County. As we get the whistle. And a
charge
foul
taken by Samuel Bell. The foul is called against Thunder, number 2, Brenton McKinny Allen, his first. No bonus shots for player control fouls, but it does turn the ball over to the Blue Darters.
And in each game, a member of the Metro Conference takes on a non-member, a.k.a. the Florida contingency, and we add up how many, which side wins the most games. So once again, a 12-11 lead for the Florida contingency. More importantly, though, opportunity for each and every team to get some live action in against a live opponent. Most of these teams playing their first regular season game. Apopka, this is his second game that they've played in this event, falling to OCP, Orlando Christian Prep, on Wednesday. This is Lake Region's first game.
Darters foul is called against number 5, Larson Taylor, his second personal, the team's fourth. Checking into the game for Apopka, number 10, Jahi Bowden. So now both teams will have bonus for the last minute and a half of this period. Tray does not fall. Now Apopka gets an opportunity to add to their lead. From the top of the key, count it. That's Jermichael Johnson. As we dip under a minute remaining in the second period, Apopka makes it a 10-point ball game. Thunder would at least like to get some momentum and have the last word going into the locker rooms if they can.
Down to 30 seconds now. Lake Region taking some time off that clock. In the left wing, that's Zachary White, who finds the range.
3 for Zachary White.
So now Apopka, if it so chooses, will have the opportunity to take the last shot. As you said, Mark, momentum into halftime. And that's not going to materialize. The quick hands, the other way we go. German still has the ball with 8 seconds remaining. Picked up the loose ball. Apopka has a shot. After all that, and the slam for Johnson.
Jermichael Johnson gets the last word of the second quarter, and that takes us to halftime with the Darters in front by 9. 29-20 is your score at the end of the second quarter here in game 24 of the 13th annual Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge, presented by St. Germain Chiropractic, Burn Fat Orlando, and Advent Health.
So Apopka taking the lead from the beginning, and they did not lose it, held it throughout the period. As much as a 12-point lead, sells for a 29-20 lead. Of course, one of the feature contests is Scott Williams taking on one of his former teams, the Lake Region Thunder. This is the 2023 Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge from Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium in Apopka High School.
And We'll welcome the Blue Darter cheerleading squads to the court for your halftime entertainment. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes to wrap things up here in Game 25 of the 13th Annual Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge. Welcome back to Joe Sterling Gymnasium, where we are coming back from halftime. And at the start of the third quarter, it is a 29-20 lead for the Blue Darters, 9-point advantage for Apopka going into this next set of 8 minutes.
So again, Apopka scoring the first 4 points. And they have led since then, the lead as much as 12. Now settling for 9 at halftime. And Apopka gets possession to start this second quarter. They'll be looking to get that lead back up to double digits. And splash to start the third quarter from Darren Leath.
Darren Leath for 3.
So just exactly what the doctor ordered for Apopka to start the second half. Lead back up to a dozen. And the tip. And we'll go back to Apopka. About 200 fans in attendance here at Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium. Thank you for joining us on this Saturday after Thanksgiving. As the answer from Lake Region. The basket by Apopka, and that gets the lead back up to 34-20, actually the largest of the game. And now an opportunity to go for the first 6 points for Apopka. They've come out with strong defense. Pass over to Taylor, and he makes the withdrawal from the bank.
Basket by Larson Taylor.
One-on-one now. Lake Region looking to break that 6th consecutive streak. Points scored. They will not. Someone got a hand in. Leath, right place, right time. And we are off and running. Now down on the Apopka side, that's Johnson. Bounce pass into Angervil. He with the spin move. And floats in the deuce on the stop and go move. And at the other end, that's going to be a timeout. Apopka with its largest lead of the game at 18 points.
Full timeout called by the Thunder. We'll take this opportunity to thank our friends at Excel Speed Training, where Coach Lowood offers training in all sports for speed, agility, and fitness, with 2 days a week offered at 3 different sites here in Central Florida. You're sure to find a program that works for you. Just visit excelspeed.com to learn more. I also want to thank our friends at the Winter Park Driving Academy, proud sponsor of this year's Metro versus Florida Challenge. The Winter Park Driving Academy is dedicated to serving the greater Orlando area in its mission to train student drivers in essential defensive driving techniques. And what's more, their certified and experienced professionals are able to administer the driving exam. That's right, they can function as your examiner as well, and that means that it saves you a trip to the DMV. Visit their website at wpdriving.com to schedule your lessons and road tests today. Back to live action here at Joe Sterling Gymnasium. And Lake Region so far looks like Apopka had a box of Wheaties waiting for them in the locker room, and Lake Region's was conspicuously absent.
Yeah, an 8-0 run to start the second half. Couple of turnovers and a couple of long rebounds turned into points at the other end.
10 seconds in the backcourt. Thunder ball. So that's just a mental lapse there as Samuel Bell was taking his time, figuring, well, hey, we're in the lead. We don't have a shot clock. I don't have anywhere to be. And it turns out the referee was counting the entire time.
And score the deuce.
Layup for Devin Booker puts the Thunder on the board for the second half. 7 points for him tonight. Jermichael Johnson is your early favorite for MVP if this result remains unchanged. He's got 12 for the Darters so far.
So Apopka inbounds again. That's Bell. He loses it, but right place, right time. Johnson. Back up to Angervil. Resets the offense. Leath. As we drop under 5 minutes. Third quarter. Apopka is led from the start, scoring the first 2 points. And defense. That's McKinney Allen causing the turnover.
Backcourt violation. Thunder ball.
Do you want to try just running the cameras? All right, so and I'll give you direction. So go ahead and scoot over. When I say ready 3, that means push the cam 3 button, but don't make it live. Just go ahead and push cam 3, ready 3, and then at some point I'm going to say cut 3, and that's when I want you to push the cut button. That'll flip these 2 screens.
And in the lane, going with the high rebound. Off the high glass is Perry Wilkerson. So Lake Region, opportunity to cut it more into that lead. It was as much as 22, down to 14 now. This is a 2023 Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge, game 24 of 26. And we've seen a lot of that, Mark, where we've seen a lot of player control fouls after giving up a turnover in this game as the lead goes back to 14, remains at 14, and now a couple of turnovers. The steal back the other way. That's Marks ripping through the lane, and he draws the foul, getting the Lake Region defense off rhythm.
Foul called against number 2, Brenton McKinny Allen, his third, the team's second in the half of the line shooting Chase Marks.
All right, cut 2. Ready 2, cut 2. He had the last 2. Fonts, home 5. He has 3 fouls, number 2. Font, home 5.
So has now 3 fouls. McKinney Allen. So 1 of 2. Lead back up to 15 now. 3.5 third quarter. Lake Region looking to cut back into that lead. The fadeaway, no dice. And that's a loose ball. Possession remains with Lake Region. No shot. Lattimore unable to get off any type of arc on that shot. And now Apopka crosses midcourt. 3 minutes remaining, third quarter. They've led throughout. The reverse from Angervil floats in the deuce. Excuse me, that was Chase Marks.
Hey, guys, I can't see. Hey, who is that? Ma'am?
Foul called against starters number 12, Trent Jean. His second personal foul, the team's first of this period.
Now up to 17-point lead. Apopka brings that ball up. .222, third quarter. Now Leath brings the ball up. Leath with only 6 points. Make that 8 as he slashes, dashes, and gets the deuce.
Darren Leath. Fouls called against number 5, Larson Taylor, his third, the team's second. At the line shooting 2, Dwayne Lattimore.
Cut 3, and then Fonz guest 4. Guest 4. Okay, Font the bug.
No, he did not make it.
So Lattimore at the line with 8 points. He's actually tied for leading scorer between both teams. 6 players with at least 3 points. 5 players with at least 3 points for Apopka. So certainly a deep rotation in terms of the scoring attack. And now with 1:44 remaining, the steal at the other end, rejected by Leath. So Leath doing it all, not just showing he can score, but on defense as well. Getting back, setting up. Possession does remain with Lake Region. An 18-point bulge now for Apopka. Ball out on the right wing. They kick it down to the left. The drive back out to the right side. Still no basket. And give that rebound to Jean. The point guard back the other way. Nice flow. Couple of passes. Leath open on that left side. No dice. Rebound though. Back out. And floating in the deuce. Chase Marks.
Answered with a 3 from Dwayne Lattimore.
So a lot of action up and down, and score remains at 17, only a 1-point differential. And now an opportunity to cut into that lead, get a couple consecutive baskets. Jean won't let him do it. Way to hustle back down, and the residual effect as Angervil picks up the loose ball into the corner for Marks, right wing. Slides off the rim. Angervil keeps it alive. Leath picks it up to the left corner for Bowden. He can't find the range, and not back at the other side, up and down the court, and floating in the deuce off the pass. Lattimore.
Dwayne Lattimore on the stolen basket, and that takes us to the end of the third period. It's a 15-point advantage for the Blue Darters after a quarter that saw Apopka outscore the Thunder 16-10. 45-30 is your score as we go into the final 8 minutes here at Joe Sterling Gymnasium in game number 24 of the 13th annual Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge. We'll take this opportunity to thank our friends, Apopka Commissioner Kyle Becker, proud supporter of Blue Darter Athletics, and the Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge. We also want to thank Williams Construction and Development, dedicated professionals, superior craftsmanship, and better building materials. Mo Money and Core Construction, where operational excellence is a core standard. Again, we want to remind you that this game, like all the games at the Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge, is being live streamed on YouTube. For those of you who are already watching there, thank you so much. We hope you will subscribe while you are tuned in, as we only produce content 4 days a year, so we don't have a lot of opportunity to get subscribers, and those subscribers matter when it comes to the features we are able to use on YouTube. For example, something we can't do currently is we cannot automatically string all of our live streams together so that you automatically move from one to the other as we go from game to game. If we can get to 500 subscribers, we can do that. We are about 400 now, so if you could help us get to that 500 subscriber mark, we are eternally grateful. The Darters have the opening possession of the fourth quarter.
In a 15-point lead. So now it's a matter for Apopka to maintain that lead. Don't make mistakes, which open up the door for a Lake Region run. That's Johnson. He's too long at it, but Angervil, Windex works, strong rebounding. Back into the lane on the drive through, lowering the shoulder. No basket, but does draw the contact. Angervil will go to the line.
Foul called against Lake Region number 3, Perry Wilkerson, his first personal foul, the team's third. At the line, shooting 2 for Apopka number 4, Jude Angervil.
So Angervil at the line with 6 points. Nice stroke, looking stroke from Angervil. Both free throws go down. And the lead back up to 17. From long range, way beyond the three-point line. And the rebound. And give the deuce to Izenday.
Jodner Izenday for 2.
And now
traveling Thunderball.
So Lake Region keeping that lead between 13 and 18 points. Again, Apopka has led throughout as we now drop to 7 minutes in the third quarter. Of course, stick around for a couple minutes. We will have the Earl Graham Most Valuable Player Award. That's awarded at the end of each and every game in honor of course, Earl Graham, the assistant coach. And there's the offensive rebound in the deuce.
Second chance basket by Perry Wilkerson.
So Apopka not guarding those offensive boards. And here Coach Williams yelling for that timeout.
Blue Darters request the timeout.
And that is the cheerleaders you are hearing now in the background. To our right,
Channel 3 is what gives me, it's actually this microphone, but that's a condenser mic, so it pulls in all the sound from the arena, as opposed to this microphone, which only is getting sound from immediately in front of it.
so back to live action, a 13-point lead for Apopka.
Go ahead and take 4.
They will have possession.
Ready, 1.
Bell inbounding the pass just to our left. Score the deuce, floating it in is Taylor, +1.
Larson Taylor, and 1. Fouls called against number 3, Perry Wilkerson, his second personal foul, the team's second of this period. At the line, shooting 1, Larson Taylor.
Take 2 and then font home 2. Font home 2.
And Taylor completes the three-point play. Taylor now with 8 points, tied with Leath for second. Actually, now he's in the lead with 9 points. From the right corner, splash.
3 for Devin Booker.
So the teams exchanged 3 points, and we still have a 13-point lead. Turnover, no. Bell picks it up, and somebody got a hand on that. Now Lake Region on the transition. That ends with a foul, hard contact on the floor. Izenday falling from the air. 5:35 remaining.
Fouls called against Jahi Bowden. That's his second personal foul, the team's first of this period. And it will send the Thunder to the free throw line. That's going to be number 1, Jodner Izenday, shooting 2.
Ready 3 and also get ready to font guest 1. Cut 3, font guest 1. Guest 1. Cut away. Ready. Let's go. Cut away. Now.
Short. Ripping the rebound, though. That's Booker. He gets rejected by Johnson. Stays with it. And now Apopka in transition. Marks down along the baseline. Nice pass out to the right corner. Bench rise in anticipation. Does not drop, though. Another offensive rebound through the lane. That's Johnson. And he gets hammered on the way to the basket.
Fouls called against Thunder. Number 15, Joshua Allen, his first, the team's third. At the line, shooting 2 for Apopka. Number 3, that's Jermichael Johnson.
So I don't have him in the game, so you can't font him. So we're just gonna. Ready 2, but don't font him because he's not in the game. That's on.
5:13 remaining. Apopka scored the first 2 points. They had a 4-1 lead, and they have held the lead throughout, never trailing. 5 minutes remaining now. Apopka rotates that ball. Very typical movement, ball movement from a Scott Williams coach team. Basket immediately waved off.
Traveling. Thunder ball.
Back the other way now. Lake Region looking set up. And they still will have possession, but give Leath credit. Gets the ball out of bounds, and that disrupts the offensive flow.
Foul called against number 10, Jahi Bowden. That's his third personal foul, the team's second of this period. Checking into the game for him is number 2, Samuel Bell. So that is potentially relevant to the Darters, as Johnson has 13 points, currently leading his team. Of course, right now with Apopka enjoying that 14-point cushion, they may be able to get away with that for the moment.
Back at the other end now, Apopka. And making the withdrawal from the bank, Angervil.
Jude Angervil has the Darter basket. And now foul called against Darters. Number 1, Darren Leath. That's his first personal foul, the team's third.
Lead back up to 16. Again, this lead has gone between 13 and 17 points throughout the second quarter. Apopka's lead was as large as 22 early in that third quarter. And this is the 2023 Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge.
Layup by Brenton McKinny Allen. And we'll pause for a full timeout requested by the Thunder.
So a Metro Conference team takes on a non-conference Metro team. Metro Conference teams are located in Orange County and are all public high school. We add up which side wins more at the end of this contest. This is the ACC, based on the ACC versus Big Ten Challenge. There is 3:40 remaining in the 24th of 26 games. And Apopka has led from start to finish. Perhaps not a dominating performance, as we saw in the previous game, which was Winter Park defeating Auburndale, but for the most part, Apopka has been in control of this game. This game has gone by according to Apopka's flow, its rhythm, and its style. So, of course, take a couple minutes here to also acknowledge Earl Graham, the man who this event is now named after, a longtime assistant coach, 50-plus years, and talked about this throughout this event as we get close to the finish. Mentioned many, many times that, of course, he would be the coach who would be willing to work with players before the crack of dawn, get to the gym at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and open up that gym. And he did that even though he had a full-time job. And so what was that full-time job? Haven't mentioned that yet. He was actually a firefighter. So certainly a man who believed very deeply in having a positive influence on youth. Of course, being a fighter, that's a job you do need to be at your best energy and awareness.
3 for the Thunder's Devin Booker.
And now with 2:50 remaining, the lead down to 11. That's the closest Lake Region's been in the second half. So opportunity to get that lead back to single digits for Lake Region. 2:45 remaining. And we will have free throws. The drive resulting in a foul.
Chase Marks called in his third personal foul, the team's fourth of this period at the line, shooting 2, number 2, Brenton McKinny Allen.
Cut 3 and then font guess 2. Guess 2. Plug back. Cut 3. Switch on the Willard. Now.
McKinney Allen with 8 points now. And the lead into single digits, 53-44. Apopka slowing down that pace against his full court man-to-man. Actually, it's a trap. To get it over, nice job. 2.5 remaining. And now they go into their half-court offense. Looking to take some time off the clock. Now they get the opportunity to score. And that is Johnson as he slashes through the lane, draws contact.
Foul called against Thunder, number 14, Zachary White. His second personal foul, the team's fourth. At the line, shooting 2, number 3, Jermichael Johnson.
So cut 2. And then font home 3.
So chance to answer for Apopka. And they do. Gets the roll. Johnson, the leading scorer for Apopka with 14 points now. That actually does time with Lattimore for the overall scoring. Does not get the second, but doing Windex work, tipping it in.
Put back
Taylor.
by Larson Taylor.
So a 3-point play for all intent purposes. And throughout this game, every time Lake Region's been able to get a couple baskets on the precipice of turning into a run that significantly cuts into the lead, Apopka answers.
Foul is called against Darters, number 5, Larson Taylor. That's his fourth personal foul, the team's fifth, and it will send Dwayne Lattimore to shoot penalty. 2 shots.
And as I just mentioned a few seconds ago, Lattimore, the leading overall scorer with Johnson. Both have 14 points. So Johnson will inbound, lead back down to 10. 2 minutes remaining. .151 now. As Marks going one-on-one, now slides through that lane. And the up and over move floats in the deuce.
Chase Marks on the basket, and we'll pause for a Darters timeout. 30-second timeout requested by Apopka.
58-46, Apopka back up by 12. 145 from Joe A. Sterling Gymnasium, Apopka High School, 2023 Earl Graham Metro versus Florida Challenge.
We'll take this opportunity to acknowledge all of the staff for the Metro versus Florida Challenge. from the ticket takers, the concession operators, the hospitality room workers, the score table staff, everyone who goes into the logistics of making this event possible, as well as our broadcasting team. A huge word of appreciation for all of the man hours that it takes to bring a 26-game, 4-day event to life, both at Lake Highland Prep and at Apopka. Again, we want to extend our sincere appreciation to all of our staff here at the Metro vs. Florida Challenge.
So back to live action as we are now 1:45. Lead back up to 12. Apopka scoring the first 2 points in a 4-1 lead. Lead grew to as much as 22 early in the third quarter. Since then, it's been between 11 or between 9 and 17.
Fouls called against starters number 2, Sam Bell. That's his first. At the line shooting 2, number 5, Dwayne Lattimore.
So, 1 of 2 free throws cuts the lead down to 11. To see that lead keep going back between 9 and about 15 the last 3 minutes or so. As that ball goes out of bounds, remains with Apopka. That was Johnson for Apopka, giving chase, along with Dwayne Lattimore for Lake Region. And a timeout.
Timeout, Apopka. 30-second timeout requested by Coach Williams. Make it a full.
.58-47 for Apopka ahead of Lake Region.
And we want to remind you, we've still got 2 more games of basketball action. This is game 24 out of 26. Coming up next, the ladies will take to the court. It'll be Apopka versus Evans. That one will be the only game out of the 26 that does not add to the tote board, since both of those schools are Metro. And then we will wrap up the event with Cypress Creek versus Leesburg. That's our nightcap that is scheduled for an 8:15 start.
So Lake Region steps back out onto the court, and actually we're going to continue with the timeout. So now back to live action. 1:19 remaining. Apopka has led from the beginning. They scored the first 2 points, had a 4-1 lead. League has been between 13 and 17 for most of the second half. But it is down now to 11.
Foul called against number 5, Dwayne Lattimore, his 3rd personal foul. The team's 5th. At the line shooting 2, Jude Angervil.
So Angervil at the line with 10 points. So your difference, both teams have double-digit scores, 2 double-digit scores. But Lattimore for Lake Region leading all scores with 17. So 1 minute remaining.
Cut one.
And now into the left corner. Lake Region needs to get points with 45 seconds remaining. And now Apopka, they're being concerned, running out that clock. And there you see that with Johnson not taking the shot. And it is a turnover, but 15 seconds do come off the clock.
Out of bounds, Thunder ball.
12-point lead. Once again, stick around. At the end of this game, we will have the presentation of the Earl Graham Most Valuable Player Award. And now Lake Region's got to make something happen quickly. They got to get points. Not what they were looking for as the ball comes off the heel, the long outlet to Johnson. And there's an easy deuce.
Jermichael Johnson.
And that will do it as Apopka secures the victory. One last exclamation point. So your final score, Apopka representing the Metro Conference 63, Lake Region representing the Florida Contingency 47. The score tonight, Apopka led from start to finish, scoring the first 2 points, taking a 4-1 lead. A consistent, solid performance. They made some mistakes, but nothing that opened the door for Lake Region to come up with a run that significantly cut into their lead and changed their ability to change the style being run by Apopka.
It's got to be Johnson, right? I mean, is there really a choice?
Yeah, I guess it's Johnson. So we are now tied 12-12, the Florida Contingency in the Metro Conference.
Do you remember who we gave it to last time? Was it
It was Leath.
Leath? Okay, Johnson this time? All right.
And we have a little bit of hardware to pass out. Once again, we want to welcome Jay Graham of the Earl Graham family, who is here to support and continue the legacy of Coach Earl Graham. And we have the MVP award to give out. And last game it went to Darren Leath. This time it's hard to imagine going to anyone else with 18 points out of the Blue Darters 63, including the exclamation point at the very end of the ball game. This MVP award in memory of Earl Graham goes to Jermichael Johnson. Once again, we want to thank everyone for coming out to support your Blue Darter and Thunder athletes. Don't go anywhere. We've still got 2 more games of basketball action. We're going to have our special ladies event coming up next. For the last several years, we have had the Blue Darter ladies as a part of the Metro versus Florida Challenge, and this year is no exception. Please welcome to the court right now your Lady Blue Darters. And it'll be against the Evans Trojans. That'll be in about 8 minutes. If you're watching us online on metroversusflorida.com or our YouTube channel, just make sure you are aware that each game is its own separate live stream. And so you'll need to exit out of this live stream, get into the next one, and we will meet you there in just under 8 minutes.